And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. You know the drill. www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get yourself down to Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15%. Or go to the app. They will bring it right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop. Get yourself some of those delicious, gigantic chicken tenders, the Galactic sauce, or your favorite piece of fried chicken, some fries, some coleslaw, and make it a family outing. All right, Aaron, let's get to it. Day 6, technically, of practice. Day 5 that was open to the media, and it was a pretty good one out at higher ground. But first, the big news of the night. The reveal.
EA Sports.
No, not news for Aaron. The big news for the fan base. The big news for the fan base. The grand reveal of the new Nike jerseys, which everybody freaked out about it media day, and I told them this is not the final product. The final product will be much better than this. And Aaron, they are fantastic. I love them. What do you think?
Clean.
Yeah.
I think they're super clean. The red trim around the arms, around the neck.
The perfect C-paw sizing on the shoulders. I think the sizing of the Cincinnati on the front is just right.
Huge on that.
Font and size. They are, I think, this is probably my favorite black look. Like when this goes black on black on black at Nippert Stadium, it is going to look sharp.
Yeah, especially at Nip at night.
Yeah, I mean, I think they nailed it. Like, say what you want. I know everybody threw a fit over BSN. They threw a fit like that. What's it look like? The complaints, whatever. That's what people do. But I don't know what your complaint would be with these. Like, what is your, like, right there, that bottom picture, like, that is exactly what I want a Cincinnati home jersey to look like.
Yeah, the placement of the C-paws are in all the perfect spots between the shoulders. Again, to your point, the perfect size. Finally, they actually got the sizing right on the shoulder pad. The C-paw right there on the neck seam, I think, is a fantastic little touch. I love it. I don't think I would change much really at all. I know some people were saying that they would have done like a varsity stripe down the side or something on the pants. Maybe you see something, maybe you don't. I don't particularly care personally. I think these are.
I like the black on, like when it's black on black. Like this is what I want.
I think it's perfect. I think they hit a home run.
I do too. And surprisingly, with all the complaints that were there a couple weeks ago, they seem to be universally loved. Like everybody seems to be pretty much on board.
I'm curious to see what a white iteration or a red iteration will look like, or if they do any type of alternate or some type of special jersey at some point.
Probably not this year because there's just
I wouldn't imagine
little time.
Right. I agree. But as for right now, where things stand, I'm totally on board with what they released today.
Nailed it. We'll get to EA. I'll let you get your EA stuff at the end.
It's not much of a story. I know. I mean, we can touch it. It's 10 seconds. I mean, they just announced that they are pushing forward, and apparently, whatever's going on with this litigation from Brendel is not enough to be derailing it. That said, most of that information came from On3 and Dov Kleiman, and I don't believe Dov Kleiman is even a real person. I think it's a pseudonym for whoever's writing brobible.com, but whatever.
Yeah, so it's coming. It's going to be here next summer, and I'm going to have a hard time getting you to do shows because you're going to be playing the new EA football game.
I'll just do it Malik Vance style. I can do the show.
Wow,
yeah. Yeah.
How does it look if you turn your chair towards the TV and we still do shows?
We'd be all right.
Yeah.
About like you watching a Reds game, right?
Yeah. I have to do that for work.
I get it. I'm not mad at you for it. Just saying.
Practice today. Camp rolls on. Full pads for the first time. So there was some good thumping today. Practice was spirited again. I continue to like the energy and like where what I see from the guys. They are off tomorrow, and then Thursday is closed to media. So we're off for the next 2 days. So I strategically waited, but right here in my little notebook, my trusty little notebook, I've got a 2 deep. I've got a first 2 deep of camp that I'm going to put out on the website tomorrow. That I think, I don't think there's a ton of surprises in it. But I think it's interesting. So we will have that up on the website tomorrow. That'll be a member exclusive. I will make that just a VIP thread on the message board, just for our members. But what would you like to know about camp today, Aaron?
Biggest hit of the day.
Biggest hit of the day was Ken Willis laid the wood on Barry Jackson.
He continues to surprise with his name popping up here and there and everywhere.
So here's the thing with Ken Willis, I think that star position, even though he's a little undersized for what you would think, that fits him better than being like out in coverage in space as like a corner. But should we really be surprised that somebody from Coleraine is a little bit undersized but super physical? Like, aren't we done being surprised with that? He went to Coleraine. He's a little undersized, but he's super physical. Yeah, no shit. They all are.
Undrafted Ivan Pace getting runs with the ones already in practice. No big deal.
That's who they are. They're a little undersized and they're super physical. Like,
you're right.
So that was one of the biggest hits of the day. Another one was Shaman with a clean block out in space.
Nice.
And then he had maybe the surprise of the day. They ran a play outside to the right, and he just wiped out Deshaun Pace, like rode him completely out of bounds, and let the running back come in behind him and get down inside the 10 at a red zone drill.
Looking at the two of them next to each other, not in a football move or anything like that, but just taking them into account physically, I would expect that to happen. But knowing the type of player that we know Deshaun Pace to be, that's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, it was look, if Shaman catches you, the thing about like this outside zone scheme is he's not doing a lot of just straight up. Like if it was Deshaun running into him and they were straight up man on man, like that would shift, I think, the advantage to Pace. But with him rolling outside and getting ahead of steam, Deshaun's going to move him?
Mm-mm.
No. So that's what he did. He was kind of rolling outside, and when they locked up, Shaman had his momentum kind of going towards the sidelines, and he just rode him right out of the play, and the running back was able to go back inside. And so that's something. And look, like I think that is the thing that it's no surprise. We've talked about it with quit chewing on my backpack. Damn puppy. That's the thing that the staff has talked about is consistent every snap, every play. We need you to be a force because you can be one of the best tight ends in football, in college football.
That was one of the big question marks we had on Shaman going even into camp was, can you do more than just catch the ball? We know you can catch the ball. We know you can run.
Catch the ball, run fast. Yeah. Be a complete tight end.
Mm-hmm. So that's
because in an outside zone scheme, they run the ball a lot. So you're going to have to do more than just run out and catch passes.
I think it's even more encouraging that it happened in day one of camp with pads, as opposed to like it being 2, 3, 4 days of, is it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Right. It just came right out of the gate. Love to hear that.
The other guy that really jumped off the page today, Jamal Williams.
Okay.
Had 3 sacks. Now, it was all second team, so it was 2s on 2s. Right. But, I mean, he was active today, and you could tell the confidence is growing. So, like, they had a
what position was what position was he coming out of? Was he interior or
the dog? No, he's backing up Gresham.
Okay.
It's him and Gilly that are both backing up Gresham with the 2s at that dog position. And they both had a good day. And that was my lead story is how well they both played today.
That was another question mark we had, was how's the depth going to be, whether it be on, some of those rush end type positions.
Well, it's developing. Like I've been I'm starting to become more and more impressed with Jalen Hunt as the backup to Briggs, mm-hmm. and then Damo Perry and Shepard behind Corleone, right. And then Eric Phillips has looked really good. Malik and EP are kind of rotating there, and then you have Watley. So now all of a sudden, that's 9 names.
That's a lot of names
that you're looking at for those 8 names for those 3 spots. So feeling a little good about that. Play of the day. I normally don't do this, but I'm just giving away the practice report today. But play of the day, they ran a screen to Miles Montgomery, and he bounces it outside and is coming down the sideline, and you can see him being tracked from the backside. And eventually he gets caught at like 20, it's about 22, 23 yards. Somebody comes from the backside and tackles him. And they start to get up, and I look, and it's Dante Corleone, who had run 25 yards
behind a running back
from. So what that means to me is, and I would have to see the video, the film to really, but what that means to me is he recognized immediately that the ball was going outside on a screen, mm-hmm. and he took off sprinting, mm-hmm. for the sidelines
to catch.
And obviously the running back is making his moves, and Montgomery's making his moves and getting down the sideline. And if Corleone isn't there, he takes one cut inside and takes it to the house for a touchdown. And instead, out of nowhere, here comes Corleone and makes the tackle on the sidelines. And it was a big play. I mean, it was probably a 20, 25-yard gain, but it could have been a 40, 50-yard touchdown. Whoa.
Making a play that I think it's fair to say we probably don't expect him to make last year, this time.
No. Maybe, but not likely.
And also encouraging on the offensive side of the ball that you ran a screen with Miles Montgomery for 25 yards.
The screen game has been really looking good. Like, you can tell in this offense, they want to get it outside. So whether it be via the handoff or doing it via screen, and then there's been a lot of misdirection where it looks like everything's going this way and it comes back the opposite way because everybody's trying to get outside because you're running outside zone. They've got to stretch. They've got to cover. They're not covering this anymore. They have to cover this. So it puts a lot more stress and pressure on the defense. I like what I mean. This is what we talked about a little bit this summer. Yes, it is nerve-wracking that there are 10 of 11 new starters on offense. Yes, it is nerve-wracking that so many of them are guys that are coming from outside the program that we don't know anything about. However, Scott Satterfield was a quarterback. He's been an offensive mind his entire coaching career. Right. He's called plays. He's designed offenses. this guy knows offense.
Right.
And we are getting to the point where we're starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with the fact that they've got some guys that can play.
Well, speaking of that, pads are on. How did the first team offensive line look today?
I didn't see a bunch of issues with the first team O-line. There were 6, 7. I mean, there were quite a few big runs today. Kiner had one for 35. I'm just looking through my list. He had one from the 5-yard line in red zone where he kind of put that 1 foot plant and cut back against the action and went untouched for a touchdown. Miles had it's like a 12 or a 13-yard run where, remember in Madden, like when you would hit once they put the sensitivity into the buttons. So he had one spin move where it was like a tap, where like a little bit of a wide spin move, and then the press of the circle button where he spun it back the other way, the quick one, and turned a 4-yard gain into like a 12, 13-yard gain. You guys all know what I'm talking about. Like, you know what I mean.
I follow.
But yeah, so I think they were solid today. There were some plays. I had Briggs with a sack on the ones. But yeah, I mean, overall, I thought they were pretty good.
That's been something that we've all been waiting for anyway. So, and it's good to hear that the running backs, apparently all of them looked good today, as you've now called out Kiner, Miles.
Ethan had a couple good runs. Ryan Montgomery had a good run today with the 2s. So yeah, it was a good physical day, a day where you're starting to get some of that. It sucks that we're not allowed there Thursday because I'd like to see that second padded practice after a day off,
right,
where they come out and really, really try to get after each other. They've been going for a couple of days: Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
So 4 days in a row. I'd love to see a day off and then what that looks like. And then I'm afraid, cross fingers that I'm wrong. I'm afraid Friday will be more of a walkthrough because of the Saturday scrimmage.
Well,
that's how it's been in the past.
We'll see. Different regime. Maybe it's a little different. Who knows?
I might have to get a root canal on Thursday. That's why we're not there.
Was there any any chippy plays?
Not too bad. There was one dust up. I'd call it a dust up.
Okay.
Where you had 2 guys that had each other's face masks, but nothing like,
not even a skirmish at that point. That's
dust up. Like, when everything clears, there's just dust.
Yeah.
That was kicked up. Like there wasn't any real. That's why I said I want to see Thursday. Like I bet Thursday is going to be a little chippy, but
fair enough.
And hopefully Saturday will be pretty chippy. Like they get to go to Nippert and jobs are on the line with that first scrimmage. Guys are trying to make their mark. So we'll see. That's the nightcap. We'll see you tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but we do have a good BCJ pod scheduled, and then we'll be back here for the nightcap. Have a good night, everybody. Have a good day. Thanks to GalacticFriedChicken.com. Right here on Bearcat Journal.
See ya.